In today's video, we're going to talk about the poor man's interview, how to job interview if you're broke. If you don't have a lot of money, how does that affect your job interview? And especially in the new normal, in the 2020 and after post-coronavirus era, how does that affect your finances when you're trying to go out and land a job? What up, fam? Dr. James W. Stallcup, aka Jimmy Joe Coltrane. I'm like the Taylor Swift of helping you get a better shift, and I'm going to do that by teaching you how to job interview. Let's get started. Okay, so this is an emotionally charged topic, but I want to get into it. If you don't have a lot of money, if you're broke, if you're unemployed, if you're out of work, let me tell you, you are at no disadvantage in a job interview. So whatever you've got in your head about that, you need to get it out. I'm going to tell you why. So when I say poor man's interview, job interviews are different than other contests that are stacked against the poor man. For example, you're probably not going to build the fastest race car if you don't have any money to build it with. Even in sports, if you're poor, you may not be able to get the best training. You may not be able to afford the best golf instruction, or you may not be able to go to the best basketball or football camp. We are conditioned systematically to think that an absence of money is going to lead to an absence of performance. But not so in the job interview, and here's why. The best training available to anyone is cheap. I had a gourmet grilled cheese sandwich last night. The price of that grilled cheese sandwich was the same price as my start to finish interview course, and the link to that course is in the description. We are literally talking about a skill that can be acquired for the price of a grilled cheese sandwich. But yet most people don't acquire it no matter how much money they have, and the reason is it takes time and it takes practice. See, if you're the poor man or you're unemployed or you're broke, the cool thing about job interviewing is the currency by which you improve your job interview is time. So if you have time, if you organize your time and devote it to learning how to job interview, you will go in there and win. I had a video I did on probability. This isn't really an independent kind of probability. This probability depends entirely on your preparation. And so if you prepare, it's going to be very hard for anyone to beat you. Also, now might be a good time to click like and click subscribe. I'm posting 2 job interview videos a week, and you can get those for free. And coronavirus has affected the job interview. I'm going to tell you about that. Real quick, let me say, so when I look at the analytics for the videos that I have made, the watch time, the engagement for my videos increases as the income level of the viewer decreases. So that tells me these videos are being consumed a little bit more by people who are at the lower end of the income spectrum, which is perfectly fine. That's what I'm going for here. I make videos for people who want to get a job. I make videos for people who want to advance in a job. So post-coronavirus job interviews actually favor people who don't have money because they are virtual. Let me explain that a little bit. So in the old days, you had to be very selective with your job interviews. And as some of you may know, if you didn't have money, you might have to drive a long way, sleep in your car, sleep in some roach motel, go do the interview next day, and then drive back. This was very, very difficult because you would have to take time off of your job if you currently had one and lose those wages. It did favor someone who had more flexibility and especially the ability to fly in an airplane. Coltrane, how does an airplane affect it? Because, airplane tickets are expensive, and so that favored someone who had money. But not anymore, because almost all the early interviews especially are virtual, and you can destroy someone in a virtual interview with a very few simple tricks. A $10 tripod will win a virtual interview. A $50 set of studio lights will defeat every competitor in a virtual job interview. A $120 microphone will give you better audio than any competitor that you will face in the job interview process. So in my course, I teach that you need one interview outfit. You need one good interview outfit. There's a few reasons for that. It does control cost, but also it's kind of like putting on the shoulder pads as an athlete. It gets you in the mindset of here's my interview character. As you put those clothes on, you slip into that character. We want you wearing that outfit every single time you practice. But I'm going to tell you something that favors you even more. Your appearance, your first impression is now not based on your outfit. There's a handful of people in America that can look at this sport coat and tell the quality through a video, but in real life, you would be able to tell the quality more easily. So now a $20 sport coat and a $2,000 sport coat may be kind of hard to tell the difference between. If you carry a purse, there may have been a job interview previously where some applicant would walk in with a very, very expensive purse, and that would kind of make this dramatic first impression. I've never seen a purse in a Zoom interview. I made a video on alligator skin shoes. Now you don't have to have them. No one will ever see your shoes. So as we go through this systematically, we can break down all the advantages. There is nothing in the post-coronavirus era of job interviewing that is biased against people without a lot of income. Let me say there is one thing about not having money and going to job interview which can absolutely harm you, and that is a mindset of defeatism. Now, I often speak against motivational speakers, and I feel like it's ephemeral and it's not that impactful. Like, you need a plan for how to actually move forward. But overcoming a mindset of defeatism is very, very well covered in a lot of motivational speaking. A lot of these people came from backgrounds that they didn't have a lot of advantages, and this has led them to promote this to other people to say you can overcome these barriers, and I do think that that has a lot of value. And I will tell you that if you train regardless of your background or the things you have going against you, you can go in there and win that interview and beat your competitors. Also, from an interpersonal dynamics, from a social dynamic standpoint, people favor the underdog. So let me give you an example. If I go and try to endear myself to 20 individuals, and to these individuals, as I'm talking to them, I mention that I'm a doctor. If you walk up and tell them you're a doctor, they may find it off-putting. The same thing happens with nonverbal interpersonal interactions between people who are coming from a position of wealth and people who are coming from a position of not having wealth. I know that's kind of deep for a job interview video, but it's true. And remember, people are conditioned to fall in love with people who have confidence. This is programmed into our genetics. We are genetically programmed to like people who have confidence and to see them as people that we should emulate. Not necessarily money, but confidence. There is absolutely nothing that could possibly harm your job interview about being comfortable with where you're at in life. In fact, that comfort and that confidence, especially the ability to deliver content without appearing nervous, will catapult you ahead of anybody else who's in that interview. There's nothing to be ashamed of in being comfortable in a current situation. You don't need to approach this as, I am panicked, I have to get a job. You need to approach this as, this is a season of my life in which I'm job interviewing. I'm going to get very proficient at job interviewing, and I'm going to be comfortable in the interview and deliver the content that I have practiced. This is how you will defeat your competitors. And one more thing, I'll leave you with this, and I don't do the whole motivational speaking thing, but of this I am sure. Do not let your current state dictate your future state. You are absolutely capable of achieving greater than what you have right now. If you wrap your arms around that mentality, if you embrace this sort of, I'm struggling, I'll always be struggling, it may hamper your ability to go in there and convince someone that you are the person for that job. Thanks for watching.